はい、おはようございます。
おはようございます。
はい、おはようございます。
おはようございます。
Hi, so how's your Kana practice coming along, everyone?
It's good.
Good. That's
Yes.
good to hear. Okay. So you think you can identify a few Kana if you see them now?
Probably, I
Probably.
think yeah, probably we can try.
Okay. All right. So I've given you a few words at the end of last class. So I thought we'll
Yes.
begin by just discussing them.
Okay.
Um, So it was not a lot. It would have taken you at max 7 minutes, 7 minutes to do the whole thing, right?
Yes.
I know you'd have had to check the vocabulary, I'm sorry, your Kana chart and all of that to do it, definitely. I didn't expect you to do it memorized. But that doesn't matter for now. So, hi, what was the first word?
Watashi.
Watashi. So now I'll also give you the meanings for all of these words.
Okay.
So I've given you only hiragana words, which is to say I only gave you the original Japanese words, which are Japanese. So you write them in hiragana because we hadn't finished looking at all of katakana, which we will do today. Okay, and then you can look at both katakana and hiragana words. For now, it's just hiragana. Watashi. Oh, let me change the font. Hi. Watashi. So you can check to see that you've all gotten it right. Of course, I'm typing it, so it's different, but you would have had to write it down. So as you write, as you look at it more, try to register these sounds as
Okay.
much as possible. Hi. Watashi means I. I or me, hi, is watashi in Japanese. It's an original Japanese word.
Okay.
Next word. What was the next word? Anatta.
Anata.
Hi.
Anata.
Anatta.
Anatta.
Anatta. Does anybody know what anatta means?
You.
Yes, anatta is you. Since these are common words, you might hear them a lot if you listen to any kind of Japanese media at all. These are words that you'll probably be familiar with to some extent. It doesn't matter if you don't know any of them. You're learning it now. So anatta is you. So try and pronounce these words as you write them, as you look at them, as many times as you can. Anatta. So you can see that the na kana and the ta kana begin the same way, right? All right. Next. What was the next word?
Itsumo.
Itsumo. Itsumo. Hi. So itsumo is I, su, mo. Okay? I, su, mo. So three sounds again. They're all three sounds. Itsumo. So the TSU, you will have to pronounce the T at the start. You don't ignore that. All right? Itsumo. Itsumo is always. Itsumo.
Always.
Every time. Always. Hi. Every time. Always. Hi. The next word, was it tsuitachi or something?
Genki.
Tsuitachi. Genki. Okay. Genki. Genki. So how many sounds in this word?
3.
Three sounds. What are the three sounds? Can you say them separately?
Ge,
Ge.
Ki and ki. Okay. So in this word, the second sound in is pronounced as in, the na sound. Okay. You won't say gemki, not required. That is a little bit more difficult to pronounce. So it's genki. Genki is easy. So how do you write ge? What is the kana that you will write first?
First K and then 2
Right.
dash.
Hi. Correct. So you write K first, ka, ki, ku, ke. So the K with the double dash becomes ge, right? That's all. It's the voiced sound. the G sound. Ge. So in next and ki. Genki. So once again, the key over here, you can see that my font on the screen is very different from what I've asked you all to practice. So just keep that in mind. First few classes, I will repeat that until it sinks in. Genki is a sort of a special word for what it means. Genki is to be healthy. And when you say healthy, a person is healthy only not just when they are physically well, but also when they are mentally free and well, everything.
Like when
You know,
we
you
say
don't have
fine,
stress.
I'm fine. Like that, I'm fine.
Correct,
Something
correct.
Okay.
Yes. When you ask somebody, how are you doing? In fact, you will use this word in Japanese. Of course, we'll come to those expressions later. But this word is like that. It's when somebody is free of stress and you're truly happy, then you're running around, jumping around, right? You're truly relaxed and happy, physically, no illness, nothing. That is genki.
Okay.
It's not just not having a fever, that kind. It's not just that. So a child is genki. They're always joyous and happy and playful, right? All right. So that's genki. It's an adjective, actually. It's a describing word. All right. The next word, what was it?
Ichiban.
Ichiban. Ichiban. How many sounds in this word?
4.
4.
4, right? Ba, in. Now you're all going to tell me how to write this word. First, I write E.
E.
Second,
Chi.
Chi. Now, how do I
C-H-I,
write the
chi.
third kana? Hi, right. C-H-I. Now, the third kana.
Ba.
So,
Ha.
how do you get ba?
Double dash.
Ha double dash.
Very good. Very good. So, you write ha first, and that
And
with a
then
double dash, you get ba.
Ba.
Okay. Now, how do you get pa? This is not related to this word, but on a side note, how do you get the sound pa? How do you write the sound
Circle
pa?
around.
Circle.
Very good.
Circle.
Right. So you have ha with the circle on top, you get the pa sound. The whole row changes. Ha, he, hu, he, ho can be changed. All right. Now we are here with ba. And the last kana, of course, is in. Ichiban. This word is actually, you can split this into two. Ichi means number 1. We will probably look at this on Monday or on Wednesday. But anyway, ichi is 1, number 1, and ban is number, the order. So ichiban is number 1. And when you say something is number 1, you're saying that it is the best. Right? For example, if you say of all the breakfasts in the world, dosa is ichiban, it's number 1, it means it's the best. So it's the superlative degree. Ichiban can also mean the best. But literally translates to number 1.
Number 1. Okay.
Right. Next.
Ongaku.
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 Ongaku. Okay. Ongaku. So how many sounds in this word?
4.
4 sounds. So let's look at
Ongaku.
them.
4.
Hi. Ongaku. All right. So there is only an O sound, right? There's no on, although in, the O-N, the O-N sound in English is on, but that's not how it is in Japanese. It's on.
Okay.
On. So O, Now ga, how do you write ga?
First ka and then double dash.
The double dash.
Very good. Very nice. Ka, and then you add the double dash when you write, you get ga, the voiced sound ga. And then finally you come back to the voiceless ku. Ongaku. So in this word, there is only one voiced sound. Ongaku. Okay.
Ongaku
What
means
is?
music.
Oh, right. Ongaku means music. Yes.
Music. Okay.
Music. Ongaku is music.
Means I'm listening music.
The word is just music.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. This word, this is one word, it means music. Hi, next, is it onna or tsitachi? Onna.
Onna.
we already discussed this in terms of how many sounds. We all decided it has three
Three.
sounds.
3.
Hi. So it's O, and then there's a N, right? In and na.
Na.
O, N, na. Onna. The meaning of onna is female,
Female.
just
Okay.
female, not woman or not girl, just female.
Okay.
Hi. Next.
Done.
That was all.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I hadn't said Suitachi or anything.
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So is this all right? Does anybody have any questions with the modified sounds? We'll quickly revise that later today. After we do all of katakana, we'll go back to the modified sounds, both the type 1 and type 2, and we'll see how that is done. A quick revision before we go on to the next thing. All right.
One
Any
question,
questions?
Kritika-san. One question.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. As we discussed that katakana is more about foreign words.
Yes.
So,
I'll come to that.
so for example, my name is Rima. So I won't be able to write it in hiragana. Only katakana is okay.
Yes. That's exactly the
Okay.
purpose of katakana. So your names,
Okay.
all foreign names will be written in katakana.
Okay.
We'll come to that. We'll finish the
Okay.
kana first, and then
Okay.
I will tell you where hiragana is used, where katakana is used. I'll give you a
Okay.
little bit more information about it.
Okay.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi. Now let's go back to katakana. Let's push along a little bit more. So I think we looked at the first 2 rows of sounds. Has anybody tried to practice all the other sounds as well? Did you try and look at the rest of the sounds of katakana, or were you all busy with hiragana?
Hiragana we practice.
Okay, all right. So a, I, U, E, O, and then ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. What is the third row? What is the third set of sounds?
Sa, she, su, say so.
Yes. Sa, she, su, se. So I'm going to make you all repeat it so many times that you're going to be sick of it. Also, you will learn it. First horizontal line. So you see that all the strokes are very straight, very angled, sharp, no curves, right? There's no aesthetic appeal really to katakana. There's a horizontal line, and then you have 2 vertical strokes next. So this is the second stroke on the left first, and then to the right.
It
Okay.
is similar to one of the hiragana scripts, na? It is similar. I can't remember.
Yes, there is a. Yes, who can tell me what this is similar to? Yeah.
It's similar to
Say.
Say.
Okay, say. All right. I suppose that makes sense. This
Say,
is say.
okay.
And I suppose one more that is closer is K.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, K.
Okay.
What I have written on the side is hiragana characters, right? Say and K. Yeah. But this, what we are looking at is katakana sa.
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 Okay.
Hi. That's nice. And when you can recall something, it's nice if you share it in class. So, hi. Next is she. Now, this character, you'll have to be a little bit careful, be more observant. Second stroke. So, these are 2 strokes. And then,
It's
so
like
what
a
do you
smiley.
notice? It's like a smiley that is hi. That's gone to bed. So here in this stroke, the third stroke, it's from bottom to top, if you see. So you see that this portion is thicker than this portion, right? That's where the brush first goes. So it leaves a thicker mark. So, all right. So this is she. You'll have to practice this closely, and I can tell you the difference only when we look at another kana, which is very similar to this. Okay? Remember that this is a more lying down kind of a kana. All right? So it's almost horizontal. It's not vertical. It's not straight. It's almost horizontal. And then like that. So that is the angle. Right? Okay. Sa, she, and next is s. All right. First stroke, I told you this particular stroke comes in a lot of kana. And this is treated as one stroke, although there's a left to right and a top to bottom. You don't take your pen off at that juncture. So it's considered to be one whole stroke. So here again in su, you have this, and then the second is like that. Su. Okay. Su. Ku. Katakana ku. You have a stroke like this and then like that. It's not exactly like this. Like I said, this is more narrow. And that is something you have to pay attention to. Here it's broader. So this is su. Next, se. You'll find that se in katakana is similar to se in hiragana. We just looked at se in hiragana earlier. If you're using your kana workbooks, then you'll be able to see the difference. Left side you see hiragana, right side you see the katakana. So that part is different. This stroke is not a brush stroke, so you have to complete it. You have to properly bring it to almost half this length, almost. And then you have a top to bottom stroke. It's top to bottom and it also extends to the right side. Okay? So hiragana se is like this, 3 strokes. Katakana se is just right. You see mine is almost falling off. It's more straight. Hi. Stay. All right. The next kana is so. So is like this, 1 stroke. And then the top to bottom stroke. 2 in total. So it's 1 and 2. This is so. Again, you have another
Okay,
kana
so
which is
in
very
she-
similar to this. So when we come to that, I'll ask you to think of so. All right, so remember so in your minds.
Okay, so in
Yes,
she
there's a
we have
question.
2 dots and in so we have 1 dot.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. She, you have 2, and in so you have 1, but it is still different. I'll tell you.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Correct.
Right.
It's top to bottom. So the broader part is upside.
Yes,
Okay.
in this kana, it's top to bottom.
Okay.
With she, it was bottom to top, right?
Correct.
The last stroke. Right. So that's sa, she, su, se, and so. Now let's go to the next row, which is the ta row. You have ta, chi, su,
Su,
te,
te, to.
to. So once again, can I have all of you repeat the ta line again? Be clear with the sounds.
Ta,
Ta,
chi,
chi,
su,
su,
te,
te, to.
Te, to. So now you all know that the sounds chi and su belong to the ta row, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So let's look at ta first. First stroke, second stroke. So far, what does it look like?
Ku.
Ku. Very good. Katakana, ku. All
Ku.
right. But the third stroke makes a difference. This is ta. Okay. So the first two, it's exactly like ku. It's identical. But then there's a third stroke that makes this kana ta. Katakana ta. Okay, next. Chi. So here you see the first stroke itself is a right to left stroke. It's not by the rule. Right to left and then left to right.
Left to right.
Hi. And then there's a top to bottom. So here on the top, the stroke may again ever so slightly touch the top stroke, but it should not go past it. Okay, so there's right to left to right, and from here, right, you drop down. So once more, right to left to right. This is chi. Chi. Okay, the next one is tsu. So here, you'll see what I was saying. 2 strokes and then a top to bottom stroke. This is a top to bottom stroke, right? It's thicker on the top. So this is very similar to she, but there is a difference. Okay, let me draw she on the top over here. You can see that this is more horizontal. The angle at which you draw these two parts of the kana is very different to this. This S is more vertical in the way it's positioned. Okay, the tiny dots are more vertical. They are close to standing. But in she, they are more horizontal. All right. If you practice them side by side, you'll probably know the difference more clearly. This is S. So she and S are actually similar. With she, the third stroke, the last stroke is a bottom to top stroke. In S is a top to bottom, more vertical kind of a line. Hai, S. Next is te. Horizontal line, another horizontal line, which is longer than the first. And from the second horizontal line, you have a top to bottom stroke. Remember that this is from the second one. So it shouldn't cross above this. You can make it touch the second line and then drop it down. Te. For example, I'll give you a word. Television. Television in Japanese is te-re-bi. Te-re-bi. Okay. Television. So that is shortened. So you're only looking at the sounds televi. Okay. The la sound gets the ra sound in Japanese. And I told you the vi sound will become bi. The va sounds get the ba sounds in Japanese. They're replaced. Okay. So te, le, vi becomes te, re, bi. So that word will begin with this kana. You write it in katakana because it is a borrowed word. It's taken from the word television. So this is te. Next is to. One, it's a stick. And then from somewhere in the middle of that line, there's a right extension. To. Has anybody seen the very famous Japanese animation movie called Tonari no Totoro? It's called My Neighbor Totoro. It's from this very famous production, Studio Ghibli. I'm sure you're aware of Spirited Away. Has anybody heard of Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke? Yes, right. I think it was Spirited Away or Mononoke, one of the two that even won an Oscar a few years ago. So that is more popular, but it's from the same animator. It's called My Neighbor Totoro. In Japanese, it's Tonari no Totoro. So this kana comes in the word Totoro, right? Toto, it comes twice, and it's so highlighted in the title that it sticks in our minds. Every time I look at this kana, I think of Totoro. I'll try and introduce some of them. It's definitely it's something that anyone can enjoy. Totoro, anyway. To. Okay, so a vertical line and then
So
to the
it's not
right.
a Japanese word that they use katakana for Totoro.
Totoro is a kind of a character. It's just a name. We don't know what it means. It's just three sounds put together. And it's a creature. It's a name of a creature in that movie. There are a lot of creatures that feature in Hayao Miyazaki's movies. So
Okay.
Totoro is a creature. It's an animal kind of a creature. And so
Okay.
it's called Totoro. And so they write it in katakana because it doesn't have a Japanese meaning. It's just a sound.
Okay.
It's just sounds put together to make a name.
Okay.
In fact, in the
Arigato.
movie, you see how that name comes about. It's an
Okay.
imaginary name from a little girl's mind.
Okay.
So that's why you write it in katakana.
Okay. Arigato gozaimasu.
Hi. All right, next. What comes after the taro?
Na.
Akasatana. Very good. Remember the song? Akasatana. So let's look at na. Horizontal line and then a vertical line. That's all. It's like a plus, but the vertical line is it's not straight exactly. Na. All right. Next is ni. Ni has two strokes, 1 and 2. Okay. Ni actually, it means, it has a meaning. I told you there are a lot of Japanese words that are just one syllable, right? I told you about me, I think, which is eyes, and something else. This is ni, which is again one syllable. It has the meaning two. We looked at the word for number 1. What is 1?
Ichi.
Ichi. Ni is 2. Okay.
Okay.
So here you have 2 lines. What you need to know is that the second one is longer than the first, but you see 2 horizontal lines. Ni. The sound is also the same in katakana. So that's why I'm telling you this so you can easily associate it.
Yesterday you told about me, eyes.
Me.
Me.
The
Okay.
A sound.
Okay. Me. Okay. Okay.
Hi. Me is eyes. Okay.
And me is ears.
Correct. Mimi, but that is 2 sounds. But yes, it's the same sound. Mimi. It's like you're saying it twice. Mimi is ears. Okay, the next is n, right? Na, ni, n. So n is like this. 1 and 2. So again, you see how this stroke comes up, right? So far, it comes in k, just to quickly revise. Comes in k, and then there is ta, right? And then there is S. S. That's all clear. S-U. S. So you have that stroke coming many times. So here again, in N it comes. It's something like S, but you can see the difference. The second stroke cuts through it, right? That is N. In S, it does not cross it. It's very important. Okay, this is N. Next kana is Ne. So Ne, a top stroke, and then you have a sort of a center. And then, and finally. So again, you see the stroke appear, right?
It looks
A
more like a
top one.
kanji.
Because of the number of strokes, I think. But
Yes.
yes, this is. All of these characters are all actually taken from kanji. Just bits and pieces of
Oh.
kanji are taken here and there. The cursive kanji, if you write kanji in a cursive fashion, then from there, the hiragana was picked up. It was just made. It took a thing over here, a thing over there, and then put it together to make all the kana. And all the sharp that you see, they come from the sharp kanji.
Okay.
So, yes, this is the whole kana. All right, there's a top stroke and then this very familiar. And then from somewhere in the center of this, you drop down. It can touch. And this right stroke doesn't matter if it touches or not. Not important. Hi. This is Ne.
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 Okay.
The last kana in this row is probably the easiest. No. It's just one line over there. Just that. No. In hiragana, it kind of begins like this. It's not so big, but it begins like that. One second. Yeah, it begins like that. And all right. Yeah. There seems to be some problem with the pen. Doesn't matter. Okay. What is the next? Akasatana, and then you have
Ha.
ha. Very nice. Ha. Right. Ha. So there's 1 and 2. That is ha. Ha. 1, 2. The next is he. So he, left to right first, and then from the left side, it's not from the right side. Left side, you have a top to bottom stroke like that. Okay. Left to right, and then. Oh. So there's another kana that we saw in hiragana that was similar to this. So there's a left to right stroke, and then from the left side of it, you have a vertical line drop, and then there's a loop. What is this kana?
Yo.
Yo. Very nice. Very nice. Yo. So here it is left to right, and then there's a drop, and then again left to right. Continues as one stroke. He. All right. Who is just this. This is the stroke that you see as a part in other kana, but who entirely is this? Who. If you look at katakana u, the very first a, I, u, e, o, no, u, you'll find the top stroke, and then there's a stroke to the left, and then this, right? Just this part is fu. The next is hey, I already told you. It's very similar, or it's just the same as hiragana. Hey. Okay. Hiragana hey. It's the same. Katakana hey, hiragana say hey are the same. The next is ho. So here you have 1, 2, and then to the left and right you have tiny strokes. Is this similar to any kana? Can you quickly take a look at your kana chart and tell me?
O.
Oh, very nice. That's what I had in mind. Is there any other kana that it resembles? Okay, so far it's the same. The third stroke, the last stroke in O is like this, but in ho, you have 4. Okay, 2 tiny strokes on either sides. This is katakana O, and this is katakana ho. Ha, he, hu, he, ho. All right, what is the next row? Ha, ma.
Ma.
Right, what are the next rows? What is the sequence? Ha, ma,
Ya,
ya, ra.
Ra.
Okay, so it's akasatana, and then you have ha, ma, ya, ra, wa. And then, of course, the last 2, which is wo and in. All right. So, ma. So, let's look at ma now. Ma is like this. So, it's not like this. Okay, this downward stroke is more straight in ma, right? It's very straight. Straight like that. So it's not exactly like this. Similar, but no. And then you have a tiny stroke. The second stroke is a tiny stroke at the bottom. So once more, ma. Okay. Next is mi. So mi has 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3. It is kind of straight, but the length of the strokes are different. Okay, if you look carefully, you'll find that the middle stroke is the smallest, but it doesn't really make any difference. These 2 can be the same. But what's important is the last stroke is slightly longer. Okay, once more. 1, 2, and 3. Mu. It's like number 4. It's very similar to ma. I mean, when I say similar, it's like an inverted ma. Ma and mu. In hiragana, how do you write mi? Writing it there because it looks like the number 4, right? So does mu. So does katakana mu. These are both katakana. Next is me. Ma, mi, mu. The next one is me. Just this stroke. What is just this stroke? This is a kana by itself. What is that? I told you it's the simplest, possibly. Katakana? No. But for me, for katakana me, you have another one through the center of that. All right. Just this is no. All
Is
right.
it top to bottom and then bottom to top, or again top to bottom?
It's kind of a left to right, but it's not horizontal. It's top to bottom. The second one is more left to right, but it's a downward stroke. That's why it begins from the left. This is like nu, katakana nu, if you look at it. The top part is missing. Okay, the last one of this row is mo, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. So if you take a look at chi, katakana chi, you'll find that it is similar, but not quite again. Maybe it works for some of you that you look at similar kana and learn it simultaneously. Maybe for some of us, it might complicate it. So see what works for you. I will mention all the similar looking kana.
This is mo.
This is mo.
Arigato.
Hi. Chi is like this, right? This part is right to left, and then, but in this case, both of them are straight lines almost. The second one is longer, and instead of going this way, the third stroke, mo is like this, right? Okay. Next is ya. How many sounds in this row?
You.
You
Ya?
sound.
Two.
Yeah,
Yes.
you,
Two.
yo.
Yes. 2 or 3?
Three.
Yes. Okay, so there's ya, you, and yo.
You.
Let's look at ya. So once again, these 3 kana you will use for what? Where do you use these 3 kana in both hiragana and katakana? Ya, you,
For-
and yo.
For
For
joining
sounding.
like ki, ya.
Yes,
Sounder
for the
words.
second type of modified sounds, right? Correct.
Hmm.
Right? To get newer sounds, you use ya, you, and yo with the existing, the E sound, all the E kana, to get new sounds, to get contracted sounds. But okay, we'll look at the kana
Like
first.
when we say gyoza, gyoza.
Correct, gyoza,
Okay.
an example, right? You have gyo. How do you write gyo? Can you all
First-
quickly think about it?
K, and then ka, and yo. Kyo.
Is it ka?
Ka and double dash and yo.
G plus yo.
Yes, very good. Gyo, so I told you it's only for the E sounds that you can do it. So you'll have to think of the E sound. So
Okay.
it's,
Gi.
hi, it's gi.
Okay.
How do you write gi?
First
It's
ki and then double dash.
with a double dash, you get gi. Okay, and then a small yo gives you gyo.
Gyo. Okay.
Remember that it should be a small yo. Anyway, we'll look at this later. I talked about this just to quickly revise, but we'll come back to this later. Ya in katakana, you have a sharp stroke like this first, and then a vertical line. How is it different from hiragana?
There
That
is a
is
stroke and curve. Yes.
correct. Exactly. Yes. And then this
And
tiny
the-
stroke is
sorry,
very
sharp?
easy to.
Yes.
Yes, it is sharp. The top stroke in hiragana, remember, it is part of the kana. It's easy to miss, right? Especially since you don't have it in katakana. But you'll have to register that as part of the kana. It's very important. Ya. Next is you. So katakana you is like this. 1 and 2.
Mhm.
All right. 1 and it's boxy. Oh, sorry. 1 and 2. So here it extends.
Okay.
What is this katakana?
A.
A. Very good. I'm going to write it in English as A. Pronunciation A.
A.
Hi, A. A, I, U, A. What is this?
Ko.
Ko. Very good. Ko. Okay. So you can see the difference. This is you. The next one is yo. So here it is 1. Okay. Again. And then the left to right, another left to right. It's like a mirror E.
Mm.
This is yo.
No.
Once more, the stroke order is left to right, top to bottom, and then you finish the inside and the last. They're all left to right, top to bottom. This is yo. Okay. What is the next?
Ra.
Ra, ri,
Ri.
ru,
Ru.
Ru.
Re.
Re. Ro.
Okay. Ra, ri, ru, re, ro. So let's look at ra now. Ra. It's very similar to another kana that we know. First line, and then the second line is longer than the first. And from the end of the second line, right, you drop this. The stroke again is the familiar, the very
Who.
common stroke that we see.
Who.
U.
Who.
U is like this.
Who.
S is like this. I was thinking more about te.
They.
Right? So ra to the end it comes this way, but te is from the middle of the second stroke, right? One and two. That's ra.
Ra.
Hi. Ri is very similar to your hiragana ri, but you'll find that the strokes are a lot more sharper.
Very sharp.
Yes.
Sharp.
Sharp. Hiragana ri is more, you have the brush stroke and everything. It's more like that. Katakana ri, you see, it's very straight. Of course, the end, this part does curve, but otherwise. Ra and ri. Okay, ru. Ru. 1, 2. Okay. So the left stroke is like this. The right stroke, it's a straight line first. You see it extends above, right? It goes above. And then it doesn't stop there. It extends down and then it's a proper stroke. You have to take it up like that properly. Okay. So 1, straight down and up. Sorry. Let me just write this again. 1 and 2. Yeah, finally. If you look at katakana ha, it's more left and right. There's more sharpness to ru. Now this right part of re, so you can separate this kana into two parts, right? The left part, which is that one stroke, and then the right part. So the right part of ru is katakana re. The whole thing is one kana, it's re, which is the right of ru. And then the last is ro. And this looks like a box, but again, you'll have to follow the stroke order. Top to bottom, left to right, top to bottom, and then finally finish it with left to right. It's not a straight box, it's not a square. You see how the lines go inward like that. It's not straight, right? It's more like that. And then left to right, and this is also, it goes inward like that. And then you come back left to right and finish it. Of course, all the corners can touch. This is ro. Ro. All right, so we've come to the last three of katakana. What are the sounds?
Va.
Va,
Va, vo,
in. Va, o, and in or ing, depends. So let's look at va first. 1 and 2. So here you have u, which is very similar to this. And then you have fu. Okay. And this is what I meant by, you see how wide this is, the space within the kana, right? If you look at katakana k, it's more narrow and slimmer, right? But va is a little more broad. Hi. Okay. Next is wo. So this is a bit of a rare kana that you won't, it's very rare to spot this kana anywhere. It's not much in use, but we will still learn it. 1, 2, and 3. So here, this is not one stroke, right? It's split. So you actually stop there and do the next horizontal, a shorter horizontal. And then from the top, you bring it down like this. Okay, so this is not one stroke, as it has been for all the other kana. This is wo. Finally, ng. So look at this, 1 and 2. Okay, so here you have one stroke and then bottom to top. So
It's
this
similar
is
to
what
one
is
kana,
very,
na? Single.
yes. So, very good. Okay, so is more, you'll find that it is more vertical. Okay, you'll find that this tiny stroke is more vertical than horizontal as you see in. Okay, and it's a top to bottom stroke. So, hi. So the similar kana that we've seen, first is she, okay. This is the angle, and then it's a bottom to top stroke that comes like this. If you look at si, it's more vertical. It's more vertical, and it's a top to bottom. So you can tell the difference. Similarly, it's exactly like this, but with single strokes on top, which is so and in. In is more like she, that way. 1, and two. So is like su, but with a single stroke.
Initially, it's going to be confusing, right? I mean, till the time we get
Initially,
used to it.
yes, you said it. That's exactly how it is. Right?
Okay.
Initially, until you get the hang of it, until you get used to it, the more you read, the more you see, you'll start to see the difference. Hi. That's why it's important that when you start practicing, you practice right instead of making a mistake for 2 months and then correcting it. Once it registers, it's hard to change that. Okay. Any questions so far? So we've come to the end of katakana. Anything?
So, like what we have noticed is hiragana is more flowy and katakana is more sharp. Correct
Correct.
me if I'm wrong. Okay. Okay.
Hi.
Arigatou
So
gozaimasu.
just as how we saw the modified types of sounds, you have 1 and 2. One is, can anybody tell me, how do you get modified characters? The first type. It's there on the screen, but I would also like you to, anybody. If you've never spoken in class, now's your chance. Anybody would like to tell me how you arrive at the first type of modified sounds?
The double
We looked at this. Yes. The double?
Dash.
dash.
Yes, the double dash. Okay, the first thing is you take the double dash, you add it to certain characters, certain rows of sounds to get the voiced sounds. What are those rows? Not all of them, right? Just 4. What are those rows? The first row of sounds that you use the double dash for is?
Like ka
Ga.
becomes ga and ki
Ga.
becomes
Yes.
gi. Ku
Yes, so
becomes
that's
gu.
correct. So that's the ka row. So you have the ka sounds. Ka, ki,
Yes.
ku, ke, ko
Yes.
can
Yes.
change to what are the sounds?
Ga, gi,
Ga.
gu, ge, go.
Right. Ga, gi, gu, ge, go. Okay, this is what we looked at. I hope my screen is visible to you now. Hi. So I've changed screens. And then the next thing that you can do this, adding the double dash is for the sa line, the sa row. The sounds are sa, shi, su, se, so. So what do they change to? What are the new
Za,
sounds that you get?
ji, zu, ze, zo.
Very good.
So she becomes G. J-I-G.
Right. Yes. Za and the she, the second sound, which is an exception, right? That becomes
G.
J-I. Okay,
G.
yes. That's something that you'll have to remember. She becoming G, sort of a exception. And everything else is Z, ze, and zo. All right. Next is the ta line. So you have ta, chi, su, te, to. Okay. So ta becomes da.
Da.
With the double
Da.
dash, it gets the voiced sound da. Correct.
Da.
Okay. Chi
G.
theoretically becomes G. Yes.
G. But we are not
Yes.
supposed to use it.
Correct. We don't use it generally because you already have
G.
an existing G sound. To have two kana to have the same sound is just going to confuse. So you don't usually use this, which is where I've struck it out. The next one, the third one, that is S becomes Z.
Zoo.
Z.
Z.
Okay, Z. So it's again, it takes some practice, I think, to pronounce it. But please remember, S is Z with the double dash. Te becomes de, to is do. And ha, he, hu, he, ho, there are 2 ways in which you can change this. One is with the double dash and the other one is with circle. With the
Circle.
double dash, what are the sounds that you get? What are the 5 sounds?
Ba, bi,
Ba,
bu,
bi,
be,
bu,
bo.
be,
Bo. Bo.
yes. And with the circle on the top, what are the sounds that you get?
Pa, pa,
Pa,
pi,
pi,
pu,
pu,
pe,
pe,
Bo.
ko. Yes. Very good. Okay. Please do, if you have no background noise, I would I encourage you all to unmute and say it so I can also hear you all. That way, like I said, I can correct any mistakes. All right. So the next type of modified sounds, okay, is by adding ya, you, yo. The sounds ya, you, yo to the E sounds in the Kana chart. Okay. So we saw until this in the last class. So you have the E sounds over here. Ki, she, chi, ni, he, me, and ri. Okay. So to all of these E sounds, you can add ya, you, and yo to get new sounds. So that's what we saw. Kya, kyu, kyo. So these are contracted sounds. But the important thing to remember is to write the ya, you, and yo in smaller font, in smaller size. If it's the same size as the other kana, then you will end up pronouncing it. So it becomes two different sounds. Ki ya, she ya, ni ya, right? That's not what we want. We want contracted sounds. We want one sound. So that's kya, sha, cha, nya, mu, all of that. Okay, so the ya, you, yo is written in smaller font next to the E kana, E sounding kana. Okay, remember it's the E sound. All right. By extension, in these modified sounds, you get new sets of E sounds, right? Like in ga, gi, gu, ge, go, za, ji, zu, ze, zo. These are the E sounds. Gi, G, of course, this G doesn't exist, so we'll not include that. B, P. These are also additional E sounds that can also be changed to get new sounds like gya, gyu, gyo. Right? Gi and a small ya gives what sound?
Yeah.
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 Gi and a small u gives you?
You.
Gyu. Gi and a small yo is?
Gyo.
Yo.
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 All right? Right. Now this kana, this is gi. Now this is G, right? So G and a small ya is?
Ja.
Ja.
There is no additional G, Y, A. Like I said, G itself is a different, she is different, G therefore is different, and everything else is also different. So you don't need a complicated ya sound in there. It's not required because ja itself is a new sound. You don't need to further complicate it. So this ja does not, ja does not exist. So it's just ja, ju, jo. Simple. All right. Can you all repeat after me? Ja.
Ja.
Yes. While you repeat, please do picture how you write it in your minds, or you look at the screen and try to register it. Try to understand how you are supposed to write it. That's when you will have questions. Hi? All right. So ja, G and a small ya is ja. Next, ju,
Ju.
ju,
Yes.
right. Okay.
Ju.
So you can think of it in your minds. How do you write the sound ju? Somebody said ju and you have to write it. How do you write it? You take she, make that G with the double dash. You get G. And to that, you add a small ya
Yu.
or a u or a yo, depending on if it's ja or ju or jo. All right. Similarly, bya is B and a small ya. B and a small ya is bya. All right. B and a small u is bu. B and a small u is byo. Finally, you have the circle on top with he, so that gives you the pa sound, P. So P and a small ya is
Pya.
pya. P and a small u,
Pyu.
pew. P and a small yo is
Pyo.
okay. All right. So the rules, all of these rules, type 1 modification, type 2, they're all also applicable for katakana. You have the same sets of sounds. You have the same basic 46 sounds, and all the derived sounds are also exactly the same even for katakana. Except the way you write them will be different. That's all. You use the same double dash, ga, gi, gu, ge, go. Can you all read these sounds together? You have hints. You might not be able to read the kana by itself, but you have hints, right? ga sound, za sound, da sound. So just go by logic. Let me see. I'm sure you can't recognize all of this kana today. You will eventually, but not today. We've just finished it today. But let's just read them. Okay? Hi. What's the first line? What are the sounds?
Ga,
Ga,
gi, gu,
gi,
ge,
gu,
ge,
go.
go.
Very good. All right. Double dash. Next.
Za,
Ja,
Za,
ji,
ji,
zu,
z,
de,
Zo.
zo. Sorry, zo. I'm sorry. Za, ji, z, ze, zo. Hi. Okay. So remember that this is G. Next.
da,
Da,
ji,
ji,
zu,
do.
De, do.
Do. Of course, this G does not
exist.
ever make an appearance. So I'm going to strike that out. Da, ji, z, de,
Do.
do. Okay, do. All right. Next, you have the ha, right? Ha sounds
ba,
change to ba or
Ba.
pa. Hi.
ba,
So the first one, ba,
bi, bu, be, bo,
bo.
be,
Ba, bi, bu, be, bo.
Bo.
be, bo,
Okay, very good. Next is pa. So what does that become?
Pa.
ba, bi, bu,
Bu,
Be.
be,
bo.
bo. Very nice. Okay. Don't worry about not recognizing them again. This is more about understanding how these sounds are produced. As you learn the script, you'll be able to recognize them slowly. All right. Next, of course, the modified sound, the second type, having kya, kyu, kyo, the small ya with the key sounds, they're also exactly the same. All right. Similarly, you have, right, ki becoming ga here, and sa becoming za, he becoming b and p, depending on what it is. The modified sounds, the voiced sounds also can be changed to the contracted sounds. So gya, gyu, gyo. So let's just quickly look at these. Can we all quickly pronounce these? What's the first one?
Gi.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Gi plus
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. G
Gyu.
plus a small u.
Gyu.
Gyu.
Gyo.
Gyo,
Gyo. Right. Next.
da,
Ja.
Yeah.
ju,
Ju.
bo,
Go.
Jo. This is G and a small ya. G small u.
Yeah.
G small u in katakana. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gyo,
Gyo.
gyo,
Okay.
gyo.
Next. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gyo,
Yo.
Very good. So these are all the sounds in Japanese. Along with the basic 46, we've also seen all the other sounds. Okay. So this is what is there in your textbook. If I'm not wrong, it's on page 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think it's the same for you also. 2 and 3 has got hiragana, all the sounds, right? And 4 and 5 has got katakana. So you can take a look, practice using your textbook. Okay, this is the best material really. This is enough. You don't have to look anywhere
book?
else.
Kana book.
The workbook you can use for practicing the characters. I'm talking about the textbook where you have the chart. It's just to look at.
Okay.
The main, the longer, the bigger textbook.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. You just have a chart. It's all there in one page, so you can take a look at it. Hi. Now, along with these sounds, there's a few more sounds that we need to know. No new sounds. It's just aspects of sounds, right? In our Indian languages, we have elongated sounds, right? You have, let's say you have a, you also have a. So a is one character, and you also have to learn a as a separate character, as a separate letter or an alphabet, right? In Hindi, you have, I think, ka, and then the emphasized kha. Then you have ga. You have different aspects in different languages. In Japanese also, you have elongation, but you don't have a separate character, a different character for elongation. you use the existing characters to depict elongation when you write. So that's what we're going to be looking at. For hiragana, it's slightly different. And for katakana, it's different. It's not the same. So we'll look at it now. All right, there are two things. One is elongation. We'll look at that and then we'll go to the next. So vowel elongation. So since Japanese, you have syllables, right? All of the sounds, if you see, they end with one of the vowel sounds because the basic 5 sounds are a, e, u, a, o. From there, you have ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, and so on. Any sound that you take will end either with a, e, u, a, or o. All right. Before we go into that, let's quickly look at the question I'm sure all of you have by now. Where do you use hiragana? Where exactly do you use hiragana? I told you use it in original Japanese words. Okay. Like, let's try and read some of these words that I've given here.
Suki.
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 Suki. Remember, this is the kana ki.
Ki.
Okay, this is just the printed font. Ski. So if you say it together, it's ski. Okay, but it's okay. Initially, we can practice saying suki.
Suki.
Suki. Slowly, no problem. Suki refers to the moon. Okay, the moon that
Suki.
you have in the sky. Hi, Suki. The next kana, the next word is another example of a single sound word.
Ki.
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 Ki is tree. Ki is tree. So this is all vocabulary that you can start learning, you can start including. You'll find all of this appearing in your textbooks as we do our lessons. What is the next word?
Hana.
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 Hi. Hana. Hana is flower. Hana. Ha-na. So what is the last word over here?
Hon.
Hon.
Book.
Hon, right. Hon.
Hon.
Now, some people I find that initially there's a confusion and there's a tendency to say hon. There is no ha sound. There's ha
Ho.
or ho. In this
Hon.
case, it's hon. Ho-n. So that is something that we'll have to really be careful about. Hon is book. Hon. There are many words. These are just examples. These are original Japanese words, and therefore you will use hiragana to write them. Another use of hiragana is when you start doing grammar in detail, you have verbs. What are verbs? For instance, I won't go too much into detail now, but you have verbs. These are action words. Okay, when you say running, eating, sleeping, talking, writing, reading, these are all actions. These are all action words. These are called verbs, right, in English. So verbs you have different tenses. Eat, eating, was eating, am eating. So you have these things that you add to the verb that changes according to the tense, according to whether it's positive or negative and other things. So those are called grammar endings. Usually in Japanese, all the changes in grammar will be reflected at the end of the word. We will look into all of this later. I'm just telling you. So those grammar endings are usually written in hiragana. Just keep this in mind. When you start looking at it, you will know it better. All right. But for now, you'll just have to remember it's for original Japanese words. That's the basic difference between hiragana and katakana. Now coming to katakana, where are the places? Where are the times that you will look at katakana? If you're in Japan, how often do you see katakana around you? Where can you expect to see katakana? Okay, one important thing that katakana is used for is for words of foreign origin. Can be any language, not just English, like I said. Any word of foreign origin will be written using katakana. But remember, like I said, again, these are Japanese words. So the Japanese will listen to these words and interpret them. It's an interpretation of the foreign word. So it makes it Japanese. So we as foreigners can't take liberties with it and say, anyway, it's a foreign word. I can pronounce it as I like. That is not allowed. There is still a Japanese way to pronounce these foreign words, and we'll have to stick to it. So let's look at some of these words that's there on the screen. Okay. What is the first word? It's camera. Okay. Let's try and read some katakana now. Immediately.
Camera.
Right?
Camera.
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 Camera. Okay. What I will not be doing is I will not write it in English for you in these classes. I'll pronounce it. And I know all of you will be tempted to quickly write down, okay, she's saying camera, let me write it down. But the problem with that is you'll end up depending on it all the time. And you won't actually make an effort to read the kana. So that I would like to not happen. So to prevent that, I will not encourage that in class. So you also make an effort. Okay, initially it's going to be not so easy, but it'll come slowly with practice. So the first word is camera. Okay, in English it's camera. In Japanese it is camera. So you don't change that. Camera, that's fixed. Okay, if you say it in any other way, the Japanese might get confused. They won't know what you're talking about. Okay, next one. What is this? Hotel. Hi, can you read this? Hoteru.
Teru.
Hoteru. Hoteru is hotel. Okay, hoteru. So you see how the la is changed to r. Okay, the L at the end becomes, it has to become a sound, a Japanese sound. So it's a r. They don't have the la sound. The closest is r. They interpret it as the r sound. And the word is hoteru. Hoteru is hotel. What is the next one? Tunnel. Tunnel. If you see there's a double N over here, right? There's a bit of a stress. So what is the word? Ah,
Tanneru.
I don't want you to interpret it yourself. I want you to
To.
read
First one is
this.
to.
So, right.
To
If you
and
go by the English pronunciation, you'll make a mistake. It's tunnel, but in Japanese it's to.
tonneru.
Tonneru. Tonneru. Okay. To,
Tonneru.
ne.
Iru.
So
Tonneru.
because there's a bit of a stop and emphasis over here, in Japanese, you say, and it's like onna. It's not ona, female. It's o-na. There's a bit of a pause there, right? You emphasize the onna. Similarly, tonneru. Tonneru. All right. These are just some examples. Next, what is this? Signature or a sign. Sign.
Sign.
Sign. That's all. There's no n here. Fortunately, you have a so you end it with sign.
Sign.
Sign. Okay. This kana is it's not so, right? It's more horizontal to look at. It's not so. Let me just type so at the start over here and you can see the difference. Do you notice the slight difference between this and this? Yes.
The second stroke is a bit vertical for the so.
Yes, the second stroke in so is a bit vertical, right? It's more vertical. And in it's more horizontal. So that's the difference. Now next is tomato, tomato.
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 Tomato. All right. Now finally, necktie, a tie in Japanese is ne. Remember, ne, ku, and a kana that comes exactly like ku, but an additional stroke.
That is
Ta.
neku tai. I can't get the last one. The one you.
This is necktie, a tie. So in
correct.
Japanese,
Could
it is
you-
Necktie.
Necktie.
yes,
Necktie.
necktie, 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 necktie. Okay,
Ma'am,
necktie.
the third syllabus in the Japanese word necktie. What
Yes,
pronunciation is it?
it's ta. Let me write it. Just 1 second. Let me come out of it and share it again. This seems to be some. Hi. Yes. So this is ne, ku, ta, i. Maybe the font is not so clear. This is ta. Ta. Katakana ta. So the
Okay.
tai is pronounced ta, i.
Kutai.
If you go by the English spelling, it's very difficult. You don't know how to split it. So go by the pronunciation, necktie. So if you split that into syllables, it's ne, ku, ta, i, right? So the third sound is ta. Is that all right, Victor sir?
Arigato gozaimasu.
Hi, okay. So that is some examples of Japanese words of foreign origin, which will be written in katakana. Now the next one is, of course, the same thing applies for foreign names, names of countries abroad. They're all foreign in foreign to Japanese. So they're all written in katakana. Foreign names, for example, let's look at some countries, names of countries: France, India, America, England. So France, if you split it, what do you think the sounds are?
Ku, ra,
Fu,
so.
ra,
Su.
Ra, su.
in, su.
France.
Right, France. France is France. Fu, ra, in, su. Right? So that's what you have over here. Fu, ra, in, su.
So,
Hi, France. India. What is India? What did I tell you India is? I think I told you.
Indo.
Indo. Indo. Okay. So there's no India. No, it's Indo. In Japanese, India is Indo. So 3 sounds: E, in, do.
Do.
Indo. Hi. So the do is written with to. You take to and the double dash gives you do.
Do.
Hi. America is America. America. Okay. America. England is, can you all read this?
In,
Ingi.
English.
Igiris.
Igiris.
Okay, that is the Japanese word for England. It's not, it doesn't sound like England at all, but it's Igiris. Okay, Igiris. Igiris. Igiris is England. So ki again. Ki with a double dash gives you
Gi.
the voiced sound
Gi.
gi. Correct.
Gi.
So Igiris. Now let's look at some names. You have Donald Trump. Hi. It's a bit of a long word. This dot that you see is just to tell the reader that the word before it is different to the word after it. That's all. It's just to help you differentiate.
Space.
To tell you, it's like space.
Do.
Right.
Do,
Do,
na,
na,
r,
Do.
r, do,
do, do,
Do. Ra.
do,
p. Donardo,
Toram.
toramp.
Marudo.
Okay, that is how it is split, right? Donald. It's Donardo. Donardo. Hi. Donardo, toramp, toramp. But you will find that it is easier to say instead of in, because you have the following kana is pu, right? You're already closing your mouth for pu. So it makes it easier if you close your mouth for the previous sound also. Pu. So this is an example of where the sound is actually pronounced im. Right?
Could you please
Donardo,
repeat
Tora.
for Trump? Trump. How to pronounce Trump?
Trump is Tora p.
So, ra, so. Arigato.
Yes, it is the sound, but in this particular word, it is easier to say Okay. The next two names are the names of characters, Indian characters that you'll find in your textbook. I told you your textbook, every lesson is a conversation between different people. You'll have Japanese characters, you'll have Indian characters. So these two are your Indian characters. Two of the, I think, three Indian characters you have in your textbook. So the first person here you see, Devi. Devi, it's an Indian name, right? Devi. So
Devi.
there is no V sound in Japanese. What
B.
is it replaced with?
B.
B.
You're right. So what is it?
Devi.
Devi. Devi-san. Devi-san. All right. Ashok. Now, I don't think this is easy. Hi. Now you'll probably be able to say, how do you read this?
Ashoku.
Sho.
So,
Right? Asho. This is one sound, the contracted sound. She and a small yo. It's a small yo.
so,
So it's sho. Sho. One sound. Ashok.
Ku.
Hai. Ashok-san. Ashok-san. So these are again just some examples of how foreign countries and names are written in katakana in Japanese. The other times that you can see katakana being used, if you're in Japan, you'll probably see this. You have notices in signboards, like in restaurants, where they say if you, I don't know, if you dine on a weekend, then there is an offer or something like that. Or in grocery stores where they say if you buy so many vegetables, you'll get this for free, or all of these offers going on. So if you have a signage like that outside a restaurant or anywhere on the road, on the streets, then everything is written in kanji or say hiragana, and then suddenly you have something in katakana, it stands out. So the main details like an offer, buy one, get one, or discount, those kind of things that are supposed to draw the customer's attention will be written in katakana because they look different. They are sharper, you see how they are, right? They stand out. It's just to get your attention. Okay, not because those are foreign ideas, they're very Japanese, but it's just written in the script. That's how it's used in the script, just because it looks different. And another time where you use katakana, not always, but sometimes you have very difficult kanji that you don't use every day, and they are very difficult. And so it's just much simpler to simply use the katakana and just go on. Okay, for example, you see here, what you see over here is a kanji for the flower, the rose flower. So you see how difficult it is? Such a simple, beautiful idea of a rose being expressed using such complicated kanji makes probably no sense even for the Japanese. Although there's the kanji and they learn it, even the Japanese find it difficult to write it, because how many times can you come across the word rose in your everyday life? Right? Something that you're not in touch with every day, you forget. Right? That's true. When you have 8,000 kanji to learn, and if you're not in contact with all of it, you tend to, it slips, you forget it. And so
There are 800
sometimes
kanjis.
there are as many as there's even more, but what is in use every day is as much as 5,000 plus.
Okay.
In this level, you'll learn about 150, so don't worry.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So therefore, difficult kanji is sometimes written using katakana, although those are not foreign words. Okay. Bara. Bara is a rose flower. Bara.
So if we say rose, they won't understand.
If they know English, they will, but
Okay. Okay.
otherwise, no. Because
Okay.
there is a Japanese word for rose, which is
Correct.
bara. Hi.
Para. Okay.
Hi. So it's only slowly that you will learn that, okay, there are original words for these kind of words, and these are words that are taken from foreign language. I don't want to give you a list and say memorize. Of course, you will eventually have a list. You have a list at the back of your textbook. all the words, everything that is useful at this level, you can start learning them. And slowly, as you see them being used, you'll understand. So that is the introduction to hiragana and katakana, which is the use of hiragana and katakana. Where do you use them? This is the main difference. All right, any questions so far? Shall we dive into the two other aspects of sounds? As I was saying, one is elongation, elongated sounds.
One
All right?
question I have.
Yes.
Okay, so in English, as we say sin and seen. So in Japanese language, we do not have like, you getting my point? Like it's sin and seen. So it's both
Okay.
sir. But so in Japanese language, we do not have such thing. I mean,
No,
for
in
say,
Japanese, it works very differently. Japanese is not, the thing is that when we try to understand a foreign language using English, right? I understand the confusion because we already understand English to be a certain way, and you try to make the other language also exactly like English for our understanding, for our convenience. But then the thing is that Japanese is very different from English. All right. In fact, you will find that it is similar to our Indian languages more than English. But I use English in class because that's like the common language that everybody will understand. So
okay,
sin and seen are words in English, but in Japanese, those are very different sounding words. So there's no comparison, right?
okay. Arigato
Don't worry
gozaimasu.
about it. We'll look at the sound slowly, okay? And then you'll see. So elongation in hiragana. So for original Japanese words, some sounds are elongated. In foreign adopted words, there are some sounds elongated. Not all sounds are elongated in all the words. Some words, one sound is elongated. In some words, two sounds are elongated. All right, so let's look at it. So, for example, you have this word mother in Japanese. All right. So I am going to
Okay.
explain the word. The word for mother in Japanese is oka-san. Just hear me
Oka-san.
out. Don't see what is there in the screen. I want you to listen to me and tell me. First, listen to me, okay? Oka-san. Did you hear any sound being elongated? Once more.
Ka.
Oka-san.
Ka is
Ah.
Yes. So
Hi.
I'm saying
Ka.
ka, correct. So I'm saying oka-san. So of the four sounds that I'm uttering, one sound is clearly elongated, and that is the second sound, ka. Okay. Now, ka has what sound? I told you, any sound in the Japanese language can either end with a or e or u or a or o. Those are the basic sounds. So ka has what sound?
Ah.
A sound.
Ah.
Ka comes under the a sound, right? So in this particular word, if you have to elongate the ka sound, you add a after it. Okay. So this is the note. While elongation in hiragana, you have to pay attention to the sound that is elongated. If ka is elongated, since it ends with the a sound, you have to add the kana a after it. Okay, it's very simple, right? If I were to write it in English, I would write it this way. Why do I write it this way? I'm elongating the ka sound. It has the a sound. That is why I write a after it, a after it. It works similarly in Japanese. Okay, so you have o, ka. I'm writing it again. Since I have to elongate the ka sound, it's got the a sound. I will add a after it, and of course, sa in oka-san. Similarly, the word for grandmother in Japanese is oba-san.
Oba-san.
So you'll find that ba in this case is elongated, similar to oka-san. But there it is ka, here it is ba. So once again, ba has the a sound. right? So I will add a after it. So this is an example of elongation of an a sound in a word in Japanese. Okay, now there are many words like this. I have taken these two just to illustrate as an example. Okay, so I would like you all to repeat these two words with me that we have just learned. Oka-san.
Oka-san.
Okasa.
Yes. Oka-san.
Oka-san.
Slight elongation. Okay, so you're using the already existing syllable to demonstrate the elongation when you write. Ah. Similarly, Oba-san.
Oba-san.
Okasa.
Hi, Oba-san. Okay,
Oba-san.
yes. All right. So the san, we all know, is the word for the suffix that you attach to a person's name or a title for respect. Okay. The O at the beginning of these two words, you'll find in the first lesson itself, we will be doing it. O comes as a prefix to certain words, and it is an honorific particle. It's an honorific marker. Let's call it a marker. It's a kana that is used in front of a title or a name or a word to give it respect. We'll look at it more in the first lesson. So you find, words for mother, father, family members. You'll have both the honorific particle at the first and the respectful suffix at the end. You have both. It's like it's sandwiched, full respect. At the start, at the end, you have O and san. All right. You'll find that that's how it's it's a very polite society, very polite culture. Language is also reflective of that. So you'll find that a lot. All right. Now, for elongation of an E sound in a word, if you have a character like ki or she or me, ni, be, any of this that is elongated, since these are E sounds, what kana will come after it?
E.
E. Right? So let's look at some examples. I've given you 3 examples here. There are many more words. Let's look at the word here first for delicious. Delicious in Japanese. Can you all read this, please?
Oishi.
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 She.
Hi.
Oishi.
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 Right. O-E-Shi. So here you see the underlined kana, she is the one that is being elongated. And since she has a E sound, you will add a kana E after it. It's elongating. You don't stop with she. Continue she for some more time. So you have another E after it. So O, E, she. To elongate it, you add another E, right?
Ji.
It's exactly like that. She and another E. Oishi. Tasty, delicious. This is an adjective describing word. Sushi is delicious. You're describing the sushi, right? Now the word new. So all the 3 are adjectives. Describing words. You're describing an object. You're describing a noun. You're describing an experience. New. Can I have you all read the second word? Means new.
Atarashi.
Hi. Atarashi. 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 Once again, the shi at the end is elongated a little. So you add an E after it. Atarashi.
Atarashi.
Hi. Atarashi. The next word is difficult. Hi. Yes. Correct.
Musukashi.
Hi.
Musukashi.
Very good.
Musukashi.
Yes, correct. So su becomes z, right? Su becomes z with the double dash. Muzukashi. So these are examples, similar kind of examples, right? At the end, the she is being elongated. It's the she sound. Muzukashi. Okay. Now, for elongation of an U sound, if in a word you have to elongate an U sound, can you give me examples of a kana with the U sound?
Sin.
Any U sound. In your hiragana chart, you have so many U kanas, right? Namely,
Wasu.
Su,
G, B, S. Okay.
su, nu,
Mo.
u, mu,
Very good. Correct.
you,
Right. If you were to go in
ru.
order, it will be K, S, S. S
Chu.
is
No.
also a
Hu.
sound.
Mo. Yoru.
Right? M, N, H, R. And then in modified, you have G, B, Z, Z. All of these are sounds in your Japanese
Yoru.
sound chart. Right? So if you have to elongate any one of those sounds, to elongate, you will add U after them. The kana U will come after it. So let's look at some examples.
Uyu.
Balloon. Balloon in Japanese is, hi, can I have everybody read this word? Try it. Attempt it.
Fuyu. San. Fusen.
Fusen. Fusen.
Fusen.
Okay. Hu, but in this word, hu is actually elongated, so you find u after it. So naturally, you extend that sound. Hu, sen. Hu,
Fusen.
sen. Okay. Hu, sen. Now,
Hu-
air in Japanese. What is the
Kuki.
next word?
Ki.
Hi.
Kuki.
Kuki. Very good.
Kuki.
Kuki. Kuki. Okay. So kuki is air or atmosphere by extension. So kuki. So there are only two sounds
Sen.
actually. Ku and ki. But the first sound ku is elongated. Right? And so when you write it, you have to somehow show that elongation, right? So to elongate a u sound, you add the kana u after it. Kuki. Now let's look at another word, which is the word for practice. We'll be using this a lot in our classes because you have practice exercises at the end of every lesson, which I will be after you all to do. So the word is re in. Okay, let me first pronounce it and you will all tell me where the elongation is. Okay, I want you all to think about it. Renshu. Renshu. Slightly different.
Yeah,
Tu.
the end
Tu.
bit is
Renshu.
the last three syllables are
Yes,
elongated.
correct. The last. Okay, let me write it. Re, in, and how do you write shu, right? You tell me, how do you write shu? The sound shu.
Yes.
She plus you.
She plus a small u. Correct. Very good. You have she. She plus a tiny, a small u next to it will give you the sound sh. Sound, sh. So this is how you will write it, right? This is a small u and this is sh. Now what I am doing is, this is one kana, this is one kana, and this is one kana. Although it seems like two kana, remember I told you this is one sound, right? It's contracted, it's one sound. Shu is one sound. So I am extending, I'm elongating the third sound, shu. Now shu has what sound? A, E, U, A, O. U. So after shu, I will add a U. I desu ka? Is that okay? You can do this
Could you
for all the
explain
sounds.
the fourth syllable from the left side for practice? I'm not able to get.
The fourth syllable from the left side, would that be this one, Victor-san? Or the
No,
one next to it?
the one before the last.
The one before the last, this one?
Yes.
That is you. Hiragana, you.
Okay.
So she and a small u next to it, right? She, plus a small u will give you the contracted shu. So that is what is happening over here. Renshu.
Okay, but the sound sure is not part of the contracted sounds or the smaller second syllables that we derive using the ya, you, and yo, correct? Because I can't find shu in that combination.
It is part of it. If you look at page number 3 in your textbook, not the workbook, textbook, the main textbook, page number 3, the second line, it's the second sound,
Okay, shu.
right? It's the second sound, if you can all see it.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Sha, shu, sho. So this is shu. So is this clear to everybody? Do you all follow? Does anybody have any questions? It might take a little bit of practice, but hi. I don't want you to be clueless. Please do tell me if you have any questions. Now we come to the last two, right? We are left with A sounds and O sounds. A sounds are all the kana. You have ke, me, he, be, pe, all of it, ge, everything. So to elongate an A sound in a word, you can do two things. You can either add E after it or A. Okay, so let's look at some words first and then I will tell you. So the word for teacher, what is the word for teacher?
Sensei.
Sensei. Yes,
Sensei.
right? You will address any teacher as sensei. So sensei, se in se, to elongate the se in this particular word, it has an A sound, you add E because that is the rule. Depending on what the word is, for elongation of an A sound, you can either add E or A after it. And that is fixed. It's not up to us. In certain words, we use A. In certain words, we use E, and that is fixed. So this is something you will have to remember over a period of time as you come in contact with these words. You will slowly know, okay, these are the words where you use E for elongation and these are the words that you will use A. So in the word sensei, it is always E that you use. So since this E is only for the elongation of say, you will not pronounce it as E. You will not say sensei. That's wrong. It's only there for the function of elongating say. So you say sensei, sensei. Similarly, hi. What is the word for student here?
Gakuse.
Right. Gakuse. Gakuse. Okay. Gakuse. Again, the say sound is elongated in this word. You use E itself. So these are two of the many examples where you will use E for elongation of an A sound. Let's look at another example where you use A for elongation of an A sound. Older sister in Japanese is, can you all read this please? Hi. One-san. One-san. So the ne, you see, honorific particle O at front and the suffix san for respect at end. So ne is elongated. Here, you don't use E, it's A itself for the elongation of an A sound. This is one word. And there are some other words where you will use A itself. So
One
this is
question,
slightly,
please.
yes.
Like for this one, we mandatorily used san, same like
Yes.
oka-san and oba-san. But
Correct.
when it comes to sensei, why we didn't use san here?
Because sensei itself is a term of respect. All right.
Okay.
Like I said in the beginning, you have the person's name. And if it's anybody, a normal person, that is a friend, a stranger, anybody, san. Okay. But depending on the profession, you will use other words for respect. Sensei itself is extremely respectful.
Okay.
All right. So,
Arigato.
hi. Next, we are going to the last kind of type of elongation. Elongation of O sounds. Ko, so, mo, no, bo, po, go, all of that. Gyo, kyo, sho, jo, nyo, myo, all of these O sounds, all of that we have done so far. You have to look at the final O line, right? All of those sounds. If you have to elongate any of them in any word, what do? Here again, there are two elongation suffixes that you can use. Depending on the word, you'll have to see. You can either add u after it or o itself. Either u or o. Okay, now let's look at some words. The word for many in Japanese is oi. Oi. So from what you hear, where is the elongation? Oi.
Oh.
O, right? The first sound O is elongated. You have two sounds, O and E. The first O is elongated. So in this word, you're elongating O, and to elongate the O, you add O itself. O. So it's like double O and E. O-E. Now let's look at this word at the end over here, which is the city called Osaka. Osaka. Yes, to people who are not familiar with Japanese, obviously it's not our fault. I think we grow up pronouncing this word as Osaka, if I'm not wrong, right? Until you come to Japan or you learn Japanese and you understand the elongation is misplaced. It's actually O that is elongated. So here in this
Osaka.
word, it's Osaka, not Osaka, all right? So O, the first O is elongated. You use O itself after it, and then sa and ka. Remember, this is sa. This is not how we have practiced this kana. It's not joined, but this is the font, just like ki. Osaka. So these two are examples where for elongation of an O sound, you use O. Now you're looking at examples where you use U for elongating an O sound. So the word for on the other side, for example, you want to say this university is on the other side of town, on the other side of town, or there is a window on the other side of the room. Okay, there is a garden on the other side of the house. So on the other side, in Japanese, is just one word, which is muko.
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 Not you,
Muko.
right?
Muko.
It's muko, but in this
Muko.
particular word, to elongate the ko sound, you don't add o after it, you add u. But since the
Muko.
function of the u is to elongate ko, you will not pronounce it as muko. That's wrong. You will say muko. You just elongate the o further. That's all. Muko.
Sumo.
Similarly, we're all, I think, familiar with the sport, sumo. Right?
Shimo.
Once again, this is a word that is mispronounced. I think, say sumo because
Yes,
we
we say
don't know how to
sumo.
say it. It's sumo, right? But it's actually sumo.
Small.
You know the sumo wrestlers,
Yes.
right? Sumo rings a bell. So sumo, it's actually sumo. So
Sumo.
there are two sounds in this word, su and mo, and it's the second one that is
Mo.
elongated. And to elongate that sound, you add u and not o. So it's sumo. But do not
Does
make the
the
mistake of saying sumo. That's wrong. You're merely elongating the o sound in mo. So you say sumo.
Sumo.
so
Desu ka?
for Sumitomo, would it be
Yes.
the same? You elongate the su sound?
Sumitomo, I don't think any of the sounds in Sumitomo is elongated. You're talking about Sumitomo Mitsui.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the sounds are elongated. In that particular word, nothing. There's only some words where there's elongation, and some other words there's no elongation of any sound. I have given you just examples of where there are elongation. Let's look at one more word, which is classroom. I'm going to pronounce it and then type it after you tell me how to type it. Okay, so the word for classroom in Japanese is kyoshitsu. 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 How many sounds in total?
3 sounds.
3 sounds, very good. They are? What are they?
Kyo,
Kyo,
K-Y,
shi,
and
tsu.
S-H-I, and T-S.
Very good. Now, which sound am I elongating as I pronounce kyoshitsu?
Kyo.
Kyo,
The
the
O
Kyo.
sound.
Right. Now, how do I write kyo? Please tell me.
Ki.
You write
No. Kyo. Small.
Key and a
Kyo.
small
Key and
yo.
small u.
Very good. Key and a small yo. So, kyo, right? So, you can tell that the yo is small. Now, I have to elongate kyo. But kyo is what sound? A, E, U, A, O. Which one?
O.
O.
O
O.
sound.
O.
All right. In this case, I will add U.
Kyo.
U.
I
Kyo.
didn't, un- I
Kyo.
didn't understand. You add U, but you're elongating it as O.
Yes. It is an O sound, just like how here in Mukko, to elongate an O sound, you add U after it. Similarly, in Sumo, to elongate an O sound, you add U after it. Just like that, in classroom, to elongate the O sound kyo, you add U after it. So it's kyo. Shi, tsu. Kyo, shitsu. For both elongation of A sound and O sound, I told you you can use E or A depending on the word. Similarly, for O sound, you either use U or O depending on the word. Mostly, for the most part, to elongate A sound, you will use E. Mostly is the keyword, not always. Similarly, for elongation of an O sound, mostly you will use
U.
There are some words where you use O itself. Okay. We have only a couple of minutes more, but if it's all right with all of you, I would like to quickly do the elongation for katakana as well. It's not as difficult as hiragana. All right. Let's just look at examples. It's very easy. For katakana elongation, there's no confusion, no matter what it is. In any word, if there's an elongation, you just have to write a dash after that word. That's all. All right, so let's look at some words. Taxi, like I said, yeah, we separate it. It becomes ta, ku, and
Tashi.
si doesn't
Takushi.
exist, so it's she.
Shi.
And when you pronounce it, I suppose the Japanese hear an elongation at the end. So she is actually elongated in the Japanese pronunciation. Takushi. Takushi. Ta, ku, and she is elongated. Now the word elevator in Japanese is erebeta. Erebeta. The le becomes re and the ve becomes be. Okay, the sounds. And the ter is just ta, simply ta. Erebeta. So you have it here. E, re, be, and ta. Erebeta. All right. So what are the sounds that are elongated in this word?
A.
Look carefully once again. Try
Not
again.
A,
Erebeta.
Erebeta.
The last two sounds, right? Be and ta. Be and ta. Ere is not elongated. E, re, not elongated. Be and ta are elongated. Erebeta.
Erebeta.
Hi. Ballpoint pen. The word for ballpoint pen. Okay, what is this?
Bo.
Hi. Bo.
Bo.
Ba, bi, bu, be, bo, right? Ho with a
Boru.
double dash is bo.
Bo.
Boru, pen.
Boru.
Pen.
Pe.
Yes. Boru pen. Ballpoint pen is boru pen. It's a ball pen. Boru pen.
Boru.
So bo is elongated. Boru pen.
Boru pen.
Hi. Boru pen. The word for rule. What is it in Japanese? Try and pronounce it with the elongation. So you see a dash over here, which means the sound before it is elongated, right?
Rule. Rule.
R. It's the same sound. R.
Ruru.
R.
Ruru.
R. Rule is rule. Rule. Okay. What is the next one? Supermarket. Okay, but it's very simply, they've just taken this first part of the word. Super.
Upa.
Super. Supermarket is super.
Upa.
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 Okay. So if somebody says super, they're not saying super. No, they're saying supermarket. All right.
Upa.
Super. All right. Next. Oh, there's quite a list of words I've included. Let's do about 3 of these, and the rest I'm going to give it to you as homework. All right. Let's just do the next 3 first, and then I'll tell you. What is the next one?
Game over.
Game over. But how do you say it in Japanese? Let's try and read the Japanese.
Game.
Game
Game over.
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 Over. There's no va, right? Game over. So look at the elongation. Ge is elongated, O is elongated, ba is elongated. Game over. Can I have everybody repeat this word after me? Game over.
Game over.
If you're
Game
playing video
over.
games, hi. If you're playing video games here in Japan, this will probably pop at the screen at the end of the game. Game over. Next word, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Hi. Correct. Perfect. Ice cream. Ice cream.
Cream.
Ice cream. Okay. Now the last one, cake.
Keku.
Cake. It's sort of
Keku.
Cake.
no,
Cake.
not your interpretation. What is it? Hi. Cake.
Keku.
Is that good? Cakey.
Keki.
Cakey. Hi. This is what I meant, right? Not our interpretation of the word. But there is a
Keki.
Japanese word already, right? Keiki is the correct word. If you say cake, they will not understand at the bakery. Keiki.
Keki.
Okay, keiki. So K, the first sound is elongated. The second is not. So you have a lot of words like this in katakana, which I will share with you. I wanted to do this exercise in class. Again, let's do 3 words. Okay, and the rest I'll give it to you as homework. All right. I want us to do, okay, what is this?
Ku.
Ku.
Ko. Let's read it separately instead of together. What's the first kana?
Ku.
Ku. What is the second kana? U. Ko. U. Okay. Now the mystery is, how do you pronounce this, right? Where is the elongation? The thing is, in this word, both k and ko are elongated. K elongation is u. We know that, right? K. That's straightforward. But here, the ko is also elongated with the u. This is an example where an O sound, in this case ko, is elongated with U. So you're basically just extending both the sounds. K, ko. So it's not k, ko, U, it's k, ko. All right. K, ko is airport. Previously, we saw ki is air or atmosphere, right? Ki. You can revisit all of
Yes.
that after class. Ko is airport. Now, one more word. Let's look at, okay, this one. Kana by kana. What is the first kana?
You.
You.
Gi.
You.
Okay. The
You.
first kana is gi. You're all right. Actually, all of you are right. This is
Second
one
is
kana,
you.
right?
You. You.
You. A
New.
small
You.
u.
You.
Yes.
You.
So together, this is one word, one sound, gu.
You.
G-Y-U. Gu.
You.
What do you find after it?
The small U.
U.
It's a big It's a as big
U.
as,
U.
it's a normal
U.
Okay. This is a small u. So
Okay.
gi and a small u
U.
becomes gu.
You.
And this is a sound. To elongate a sound, you add after it, which is what you see there. Okay.
You.
Similarly, next you have ni
New.
and a small u.
You.
Correct. So that is new.
You.
New also has the sound, right? New sound. So to elongate that, you add. It's actually not complicated when you break it down like this, but initially to look at all of that kana, you don't know where to begin or how to go forward, right? Gyu, new.
New. You.
There are two
New.
sounds.
New. Meaning.
Gyu, new is milk.
Oh.
Gyu, new is milk. Of course, since this sounds complex, gyu, new specifically means cow's milk. The sound gyu refers to cow. So gyu, new is cow's milk.
New means milk, right?
But gyu is cow.
Okay. New
All right.
milk.
New doesn't matter for now. Gyu, I just wanted you to tell you, gyu, new, the kanji for gyu is cow. The meaning is cow's milk. But these days you'll find that the Japanese also say, what is this? I hope you can read my writing. Katakana.
Me.
Me?
Me.
Me? Ru.
Me. Ru. Ku.
So from the word milk, okay, they've borrowed from the word milk to say mirk. So this is also commonly in use these days.
Okay.
So there's both an original Japanese word gyunyu and there's also the word mirk that's borrowed from milk. All right. Now the last word, what is this?
Shu.
Shu,
Shumi.
Me.
shimi.
Shu.
Where is the elongation? Good. This is once that I like that nobody has an answer because there is no elongation.
Oh.
Okay, there is no elongation. This is shu. She and a small u is shu and me. So this is one word where there is no elongation. So I will give you all an exercise. So we've come to the end of this. There's still one more concept that I'll have to do, which is called the syllabic stop. I hope to do it today, but never mind, we'll do it on Monday. So I'll post this exercise, identifying elongation. I'll include, here you only see hiragana words because hiragana elongation is the only one that needs some time to figure out, right? Katakana, it's just a dash, so it's not so complex. But for your exercise, I'll also include katakana words. So your job will be to look at each word, figure out if there is an elongation first, And if there is an elongation, highlight what it is. I'll give you all the instructions in Google Classroom. Also, I have not yet posted anything in Google Classroom because I see some of you have not yet accepted invitation. What's the matter? Is there an issue? If there is no issue, please go ahead and accept the invite. Please be a part of Google Classroom because I'll be sharing a lot of materials there. Okay, like I said, I expect all of your participation there as well. So if there's a homework, please do submit it on or before the due date. All of the details I'll mention there. So we've
Where
done
are we
quite a
supposed
bit.
to accept the invite?
The invite, I've told you that it's there in your student profile. I'll talk about it. If
Okay.
anybody has questions, just stay back a few more minutes after class. All right,
Okay.
I'll show it to you again how to access it.
Okay.
Any questions so far? All right, please do. You have a weekend. On Monday, you'll have typing class. You will receive some typing manual by email from the admin email. I'll also post the manual in Google Classroom and we'll see how to type in Japanese. All right. And then we'll look at some more vocabulary on Monday and I'll do the remaining concept, the syllabic stop on Monday. So
Okay.
before that, it will be really helpful for both all of you and me if you can quickly revise everything that we have done so far. So you'll be able to participate better in class. All right.
Okay.
Anybody has got questions about Google Classroom, stay
Will be-
back for a few minutes. Everybody else, I'll see you all on Monday. Otsukare sama deshita. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Hi,
ఇది
arigatou.
ఒకటే జాతి నల్ల గొడ్ల మీ అంటే మిరియాలు మిరియాలు ఎలా
Hi,
ఉంటాయి సరిగ్గా
arigatou
నల్లటి
gozaimasu.
గుర్తున్నాయి నాకు ఇస్తే తేతి మిరియాలు
Hi.
Ma'am, a quick question for you. Google Classroom,
Yes, sir.
you'll post the homework for us because I've checked when I went to Google Classroom, there was nothing. I saw the
Yes, I
recorded
have
sessions
not
were
yet.
available.
Yeah. I have not yet posted anything in Google Classroom because I wanted everybody to be already in before I started in there. And since some of you had not yet accepted the invite, I decided to wait and let you know about it. So today, if you can all accept the invite by evening today, I can get started. So I'll start posting material and homework and everything there. All right. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'm getting logged in the website to show you how you can access Google Classroom. So yes, almost there. Yes. So let me share my screen. So you go to the Hayakawa webpage and log into your student profile. You click on your batch, right? Weekday batch 98, classes, and view. And you have this interactive icon. This is how you must have all registered for your Zoom classes, right? You click on this and register Zoom. You would have received a confirmation mail and email, and you all join class. That is this. Here on the right, you have this Google Classroom icon. I told you this is not an image. This is actually a link. So if you click this, it will take you to our classroom. All right. So I can see that some of you have not accepted, right? The invitation has been sent, but some of you haven't still accepted it. So therefore, that's why I'm waiting. So please do that right now, immediately after class. If you do it, I can get you all started. Is that all right?
Okay.
Hi. Any questions? Anything else? All right. So have a fun weekend filled with
You
Japanese.
too. You too, Kritika-san.
Thank
Arigatou
you.
gozaimasu.
You too, Kriti.
Arigatou
And
gozaimashita.
just
Thank
one
you.
last
Also erased
question.
donations.
Yes. Hi. Yes, Victor.
When we log into the Google Classroom, where do we
Yes.
find what you posted? Under which heading? Under
It
the
will all
to-do?
be clear to you. I will post it in different headings. I will create different sections. Some will be materials that